So there's a recent trend of like the internationalization of Brazilian born or Mexican born, Latin American born companies. We saw it recently with VTEX. VTEX listed in the US and has an important operation now in the US. But what we're seeing on the earlier side is like founders actually like moving to San Francisco and starting their businesses there. Like a good example that I always mention is a company called Incognia. André Ferraz, who is the founder, he moved to the Valley, and his solution works in Latin America as well, but it also works very well in the U.S. So, I mean, as a with the objective of increasing the addressable market, he started the company there. And we're seeing like there's another example of a company called GGB that also. So I think that it's less related to like a regulatory point of like it's easy to operate outside, more related to an addressable market. So companies want to get bigger and get a bigger scale. Of course, Brazil is important and Latin America is important, but it's like this compared, like very small compared to the US. So it's a natural trend as the ecosystem develops.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're based in Canada, so in order for your company to really take off quite large, you have to find a way into the US. But when it comes to fintech, even if you're bringing it into Canada, there's usually, I would say, technical barriers
Yes.
versus the technology itself and how it could work with the market, which I think is quite interesting that there's a company that's found the fit that they can make it work in the US. Um,
I agree. So just to your point, I think that the US has a big addressable market, but from a regulatory standpoint, when you look at fintech, they are way behind. So maybe these companies are trying to bring what we're doing like well here in Brazil on the fintech side to the US. I think there's still a long way to go, but I'm sure that like with Fed now, etc., everyone is watching what's happening.
and I would agree with that. I mean, in terms of Canada, and again, this is just my opinion, but we are great at R&D. We are great at deep tech and building technology, but we don't really build it into our everyday lives. And so if you have ever been there or if you visit there,
Never. I would
you
love
will
to.
notice that it's just like, why are we still doing things this way? And it's an older market,
Hmm.
and it's extremely obvious if you like spend time in like Korea or China or one of those places, and then you come back to Canada
Hmm.
because the amount of embedded technology it's not as much as you would expect considering the type of tech companies that come out of it.